That was loud. Don't know why that thing is so loud and annoying. Good morning, Kevin. Welcome to this morning's Coffee Brew. I hope that you had a wonderful week. Kitty-coo. Good morning, Kitty-coo. Welcome to this morning's Coffee Brew. I trust the Kitty-coo and Gemma. Good morning. I hope you both had a good week. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm reading the comments. I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes, and then we'll get the coffee brew going. Wait for everybody to jump in here, or jump out. It went from 8 to 6 to 4. At least it's leaving. People are leaving in groups of 2. My weekend is not great. My washing machine has leaked, so yeah, all my plans have changed. All changed. Oh, I'm sorry, Gemma. Kitty Q had a good week. I'm sure glad that it's the weekend though. And good morning, Sprinkled Donut. Welcome to this morning's Coffee Brew. I hope you had a wonderful week. Yeah, Kitty Q's kids are back in school, so there's that. Mine's got a couple more weeks before he goes back to school. He's waiting for it. You know, it's not very good, I should say. He's waiting for it. He likes school. Gets to see all of his friends, and he really likes going to school, though. He likes his teachers. Getting so big. One day you're bouncing them on your knee, and the next day they're asking for the car keys, it seems like. Grow up so quick. Children there go back September 4th. And mine goes back the 29th. And then they go back to 29th. It's like a half day of school. And then they have the full day the 30th, and then they're off again for the weekend plus a day. My wife's been a teacher for 40 years, about to retire next year. Well, thank you for your wife, for doing that, being a school teacher. And good morning, Cement Shoes. Welcome to this morning's Coffee Brew. Mike Stevens is here as well. Akapar. Good morning, Mike. I hope you had a great week. All right, let's get this party started. The Coffee Brew. Welcome to Coffee Brew Crime Recap Show, where we spill the beans on crime, both hot and cold. this isn't your grandma's recap show unless your grandma's into unsolved mysteries with a quirky humor, and that is me. In which case, props to her. Here you'll get today's top stories, dive into the chilling cold cases, and explore those sneaky page two stories that everyone else missed. So grab your cup of joe and join us as we serve up a steaming mug of mysteries with a dash of comedy on the side. Warning, viewer discretion is strongly advised for anything that you see or hear on this channel. The content that I provide and stream is not for everyone, and I understand that already. Some of the content may be disturbing in nature. These stories may have received some local media coverage, but have not been widely reported on a national level. Each story presented here is supported by at least 4 sources and ensure the accuracy of the information. Whenever possible, I will provide links to each story and credit the individuals who submitted them for coverage during this presentation. Please note that these may or may not have a little me in a little window in a corner. That is so I can use the entire screen because people are watching this stream on multiple different devices, cell phones, tablets, PCs. There are even some that I hear who are watching me on their television in their living room. So props to them as well. First story, Sharon Tate in the Tate murders. August 9th, 2024 marks the 55th year since these tragic murders took place at the hands of the Manson family. 7 people were murdered over the course of 2 days starting August 9th and finishing up August 10th, which today is August 10th, marking the 55th anniversary of the Tate murders. And ending that it should be not the 19th, but the 10th, not the 19th. 1969. Although a lot of society believes that Charles Manson killed, he was actually never at any of the locations where the murders, were committed. He ordered the murders and ordered the family to carry out these crimes in hopes of starting a race war. Sharon Tate lived in Washington State for a couple of years when she was in high school. And on my YouTube channel, I've actually covered, where their home was and the school and what it looked like when she went to school there at Columbia High School, which is now called Richland High or Rye High, depending upon who you are and your age group. A lot of people refer to it as Rye High or Coal High back then, but it was actually Columbia High School or Richland High School now. Page 2 story, Kiss My Ass. This story comes to us out of the state of Michigan. A man who told a district court judge he could kiss his ass could get close to 600 days in jail for contempt of court. The judge gave the man several chances to apologize to him and to the court for his outburst. As of Wednesday, August 7th, the man has refused to apologize to not only the judge, but to the court as well. They have set a hearing for this coming Monday, the 12th, to see if he will apologize. If he doesn't, he could be sentenced to up to 600 days in jail for telling the judge to kiss his ass. And he has been slapped with contempt of court at this point, which could actually send him to prison, because anything more than 365 days, even 366 days, could send him to the state prison in Michigan there. But if he gets close to the 600 days, but all the man has to do is apologize and pay a fine. But so far, again, as of this past Wednesday, August 7th, he is refusing. This all started over a ticket that he received for not having a valid driver's license. And at the actual court hearing itself was over Zoom during, the COVID, lockdown. He was behind the wheel of a car, and you could see the car, the car was actually, moving. So it wasn't like he was just sitting, stationary behind the wheel of the car. And he admitted in the actual stream, with the court, that he was actually driving. He needed to drive, to a doctor's appointment for his wife or something. But he admitted to driving, even though he doesn't have a valid driver's license. But again, this man is looking at up to 600 days in jail for this offense. So, viewer question of the week comes to us from user number 1 fish. Asked, why do you make videos about Chris Watts and then tell people to stop watching you in other videos about him? Wouldn't that be harmful? And yes, they spelled Chris wrong with no I, and they spelled Watts wrong, and they put Watts instead of Watts. What I actually said in that video was, I never want to hear his name again, nor do I wish to remember the case and the facts surrounding the case. I never said don't watch me, nor did I say stop watching me or others who cover the case. I also said know the facts before you set your beliefs in what happened and what's real within the case. Even after all these years, people are still confused about the time, just the pure timeline itself. There are, and I'm not joking, there are people who believe that he killed Shanann on one day and then killed the girls on the following day, when it all actually happened the same day. They believe that there's almost a 24-hour period between when he killed Shanann and then when he suffocated both of his girls, into their lives and then shoved them into the oil tank. But that's just one example of the misinformation and what people believe, is the actual facts and the timeline in the case. But I never said don't watch me or not watch anybody else. But yet, there are a lot of people in the comment section, especially underneath the last video. Watts is back in the news again. Who truly believe, some of the bizarrest things. Now, me and my moderators have tried to go through and remove most of the hateful replies to other people who commented and hateful messages that were left for me from, calling me everything from a liar to, using, curse words where they put an asterisk instead of the vowel in certain words. You can guess what those are. They start with an F, and end with an R. But all right, next is fake or real. You decide. I'm going to present you 2 stories that have been widely circulated in the media. And these are not just recent stories. Some of these are some years old, and other ones are from this past month or whenever, sometime in the past. But both of them have been widely circulated again on the internet as being truthful, 100% real stories. But one of them is fake, 100% fake, as it never happened. The people aren't real that are in the stories, none of it. But yet people have circulated them. Your job is to pick out the real story. You don't need to tell me which one is fake, just which one is real. You can answer either number 1 or number 2, or 1, is real, whichever you want. But you don't have to, tell me which one is fake. The first story, if it moves, go to the next one. Story number 1, a live alligator has been spotted on land and swimming in Lake Erie, Pennsylvania. It is not known how the alligator got into the freshwater lake, but it may have been a pet that someone dumped in the lake. There may have been tourists who have been spotted on several different occasions feeding dead fish to the alligator. That's dumb to do, even if it's a baby. This is a juvenile alligator, supposedly in the story. There are several different pictures. Some of the pictures that have been widely circulated with this story are absolutely fake. The actual alligator that is shown and as the thumbnail to some of the stories show it as an alligator that is an adult, and the story itself says it's a juvenile alligator. But it's dumb to do this, and it's dumb to encourage the alligator to stay alive by feeding it at the same time. Even a juvenile alligator can rip your damn fingers off your hands. Is that the true story, or is story number 2 the real story? A man from Clearwater, Florida, has been arrested for the 8th time after he went out on the town and had a little too much to drink and then urinated in public. What makes this case even stranger is the man was once the town mayor of Clearwater and is a former Olympic track and field star in college. Is story number 1 the true story, or is story number 2 the alligator in Lake Erie, or the former Olympic track and field star who keeps on getting arrested for public urination in Clearwater, Florida? Which one is the real story? I'll give you a minute to either think about it or Google which one you think is the real story. Kevin Brandt says Steve McQueen was invited to Sharon Tate's house that night, but had previous plans. Lucky man. Yeah, very lucky. And Mike Stevens says, I wasn't involved. Kevin was 5 years old when the murders occurred, or Kitika is going with story number 2. Gemma is going with story number 1 is real. Which one is the real story? Story number 1 or story number 2? Francie, good morning, Francie. It's all right. You're more on time than those who are not here yet. Better to be late than never. Hope you had a great week, Francie. Welcome to this morning's Coffee Brew. All right, ladies and gentlemen, between the story number 1 and story number 2, story number 1 is 100% real. According to the Associated Press article, you can click on that link if you want and bring it up the story, and depending upon what device you're watching this on. But the alligator that has been found in Lake Erie in Pennsylvania there is about 4 feet in length. That's from snout to the end of its tail, 4 feet long. This is not the first time that they have found an alligator in that area, either in the water or on land. The first and the oldest story I could find was a story that appeared in 1998. Was the first alligator that I could find, oldest one, and it's happened at least 4 other times since then. This is just the next iteration of the story of a live alligator being found there. Now, hopefully, they'll catch this one and get it out of the lake as well. And a lot of people have asked, can an alligator actually survive there? Oh, heck yeah, it can. It's got everything that it needs, to survive there. Habitat, plenty of food. It's all there for an alligator. Thankfully, no one has discarded 2 at the same time. Otherwise, we would have alligators all over the area. But again, this was most likely a pet that somebody discarded, either in the water or near the water itself. All right, this is the updated calendar for the month of August. The changes that you will see here on the calendar over last week is content that has been added to the 14th, 18th, and 30th. On the 14th, that is a video that will be channel members only, and then will go public sometime later in the month. Where I sat down and I read mean comments that have been sent in to me. There's about 10 of them total that I've read. But again, that'll be a channel member video. The channel members also got a video today. It's 2 days. Every video that I do that is like this, like on the 12th, you see it says top 5 necro serial killers. Channel members got early access to that today, and then on the 12th, everyone will see that video. So if you're a channel member, that is on the channel members tab right now. And the 14th one will probably get released on the 26th to everyone. On the 18th is a video that is called Chris Watts, How's He Doing? Where I go through and I answer some of the more poignant questions that people have asked me about how is he doing in prison, how is he getting along, and stuff like that, along with what is he eating or what is he buying on commissary, on the 18th. And then on the 30th, Josh Duggar is sad. Josh Duggar, apparently, that video is for everyone. It's not going to be released to channel members early. But on the 30th, you're going to learn about how Josh Duggar is getting along behind bars, and letters and communication that he has sent out to his family, mainly to his sister. So that's on the 30th. Those things have been added since the last week when I did the update. Again, August 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th, I will be out of town. There will be no live stream on Saturday, so no coffee, brew show, and there will be no trivia on the 18th. That is a Sunday. The 25th, I will be back for trivia night, and the 24th, obviously, for coffee brew on Saturday morning. The 25th trivia night is a viewer suggested title content idea about what the trivia is on. It is a compilation, if you will, of different individuals on the 25th. Again, suggested by a viewer. I think Scott Peterson will be released. You think he's going to get out? Good morning, Gayla. Welcome to this morning's Coffee Brew. Tomorrow night, Sunday, August 11th, is the Green River Killer. We're going to go over trivia on the Green River Killer and answer questions, trivia questions about the actual killings themselves and Gary Ridgway. It's about 50-50. Half of the questions are on Gary Ridgway and the other half are on the actual crimes of the Green River Killer himself and the crimes around that. So that is this coming Sunday, again, is the Green River Killer. The 25th is viewer suggested content. And good morning, Heather. Welcome. Mike Stevens says, I think Scott Peterson will be released. And I think his Innocence Project wants Scott Peterson released. I know that the Innocence Project of California has been trying to get him a new trial based on information that has come to light, along with they want complete DNA testing of blood that was found in a van that was partially burned. But that same van was known to have been in the area in and around where Scott Peterson and Lacey lived, and may have been part of a string of home robberies and invasions, takeovers, where people actually were there in the homes at the time of the that's what a takeover is. But they want that tested, and they want other evidence that was not presented in court that they say that the state withheld from the defense. They want that tested as well. Will it work in getting him a new trial? Well, the Innocence Project as a whole doesn't just take on any old case. And they do believe that Scott Peterson's constitutional rights were violated. Regardless if we believe that Scott Peterson is guilty of the murder of Lacey and his unborn child, that is a completely separate thing. Even scumbags of the earth, like the Scott Petersons of the world, deserve and should be afforded their constitutional rights like anyone else. And when the state or the prosecution in a case plays loose, with the evidence in a case and doesn't give it over to the defense, even if it's not, something that's going to prove his innocence, that if they do it to Scott Peterson, what will they do to you? That's what you need to think about. Not if he's guilty or if he's innocent. But what if he's innocent? That's a good question. No to Scott coming out. This dude is guilty. Yeah. Again, and what if he's innocent? What if he's guilty? That's something that we don't need to argue over. In itself. If he's guilty, he's guilty. But he still should have the same constitutional rights as you and me. Green River Gary says Gala. Well, personally, I believe that that Scott Peterson is guilty and that he killed Lacey and his unborn child. But there is some serious questions about the billboard that was directly outside the jury room while the jury was deliberating, for that talk radio program that said guilty, and it had his face on it, and then a number to call into the radio station. I mean, can you imagine that being like outside of the jury room of somebody who is being the government wants to prosecute for a crime, and the jury all saw it. They commented on it, and in their deliberations that they saw the billboard. And then there's the evidence that that there was another series of crimes and criminals who were in and around that area. What if Scott really was out on his fishing boat, out boating, and someone else was came to the home that to rob it, and Lacey was there because she was pregnant and having morning sickness, and they started robbing the place. And they found Lacey there, and they killed her. I mean, I'm spitballing here, obviously. I think Scott did it and then dumped her over the side of his boat, but so he could be with his mistress. Well, I would hope that that anyone would work to keep our court system fair. I mean, our legal system here in America, it's got flaws. It's got lots of flaws, and we all know the richer you are, the you can buy your innocence if you've got money, enough high-powered attorneys and everything else. will get you out of everything. Because, remember, if these gloves don't fit, you must acquit. OJ basically bought himself out of, that murder, double murder of Ron Goldman and, Nicole, his ex. I'd love to defend the worst of the worst. Everyone should be afforded, the same defense or the ability. In some states, if you're poor, or additionally, if you're poor and you're not white, you're screwed. Yeah, you mean your defense only gets so much money. Like court-appointed attorneys, they can only do so much with that. They can only call in so many witnesses or have so much evidence tested. There are people who have been railroaded into it, for murder, who've gone away and been sent to death row. And hopefully, I would like to think that we've been able to stop people from being executed for crimes that they never committed. But we know in hindsight now that we've actually executed, innocent people in America. And that's just in the last, like, I think 15 years, we've done it too. Two of them were innocent, proven later after they were executed that they were innocent. So again, our legal system is flawed. But if people don't get involved and people don't want to show up for jury duty or, make their politicians, correct the wrongs and make it fair for everyone, that's the best system we've got. I was at the same bay the day he claimed he was fishing. It was very cold, too cold for any of my family to get out of the car. Oh boy. Have you seen his mistress? No one would kill for Amber Fry. Oh, there are people who would kill for Amber Fry. There are some lonely ass people in this world who would do anything for the attention or love, of someone else. And that even includes Amber Fry then and now. Yeah, the Innocence Project. They're one of several groups that are that are out there like that, who are trying to wrong the rights of this the legal system. My friend, who's now a district court judge, he was a court-appointed attorney for a while, and he could tell you some horror stories about people. You still have to afford the defense and give the best defense you can as a court-appointed attorney for people they committed the crime, but they should still get the same defense as you or me or anybody else who's innocent of all the charges. And yeah, they're great people. Like Gayla said, she knows plenty of people who are defense attorneys that are great people. Too cold to golf that day, so he decided to go fishing. I've never experienced it being too cold to golf. Me and my friends once played in a golf tournament, and it was, I think, with windshield, it was like -2 with the windshield. That's cold. That they actually had to get out the snow shovels and scrape the greens just so we could actually play that golf tournament. That was in Boulder, Colorado. It was -2 degrees. We drove what 600 miles to go play in that tournament because we were all up by what's the closest town? Victoria, British Columbia, up that way. Bellingham, Washington. So we were all up here, and we had to drive all the way down to Colorado. That is cold. I think we ended up winning that tournament, though. It was a best ball 4-man team, or maybe it was a 5-man team. There's like four of us who are we always play in the same tournaments. And this week while I'm gone, I'm going to be in Centralia for a golf tournament there that we play for two charities. This year we're playing for Cancer Society, lymphoma cancer. That's one of the charities we're playing for one day, and then the second day we're playing for a scholarship to raise money to put into a scholarship for somebody who died of I think he was in a car accident, but he had four kids that were left behind. So we're playing for two different charities, raising money. Through each and every one of us who plays in that tournament has to have sponsorship. And so I'm being sponsored by Lumens Technology. They work for in the tech industry with like Microsoft and other big companies like that. But Lumens, they're sponsoring me. So all that money that from sponsorship for me goes to the charity. And then we try to raise money per hole through it. If I get like a par, it raises like another couple $100 on that hole. Or if anybody in my group gets par on certain holes, that it raises a couple $100 per person. That get par. So it's all for good. And we do this every year, same time every year. That at least Saturday, Sunday. That'd be the 17th, 18th when I'm gone. But the 15th and 16th, I'm going to be off the grid. No cell phone, no computer, nothing. I'm going to take a camera with me. I might take some pictures in the Cascades of like Mount Rainier, because that's where I'm going to be, is close to Mount Rainier, in that Mount Rainier National Park. But I'm going to be completely off the grid. Nothing. No one has any way of getting a hold of me for those 2 days. It's my way of like think of like it, like resetting and recharging my batteries. Getting all this crime stuff out of my head. Decluttering all of it. It is, Francie. It is. But it's also a great way for, because my friends live all over the Pacific Northwest now, and down into New Mexico as well. So it's that one time of the year where we can all get together for those 2 days, see each other, raise money for two different charities. So hopefully we raise a lot this year. I don't know how much everyone else's their sponsorship is. I was trying to get the Teamsters, and they still might, because you can have more than one sponsor for the tournament. I'm trying to get the Teamsters, the electrical union, which my wife belongs to. She's not an electrician. She's just a member of the electrical union, the Teamsters. But I'm trying to get them to sponsor me as well. In the past, I've had Conoco gas stations, the chain, the company itself, Conoco. They sponsored me in the past. I had Pepsi 1 year. That was about 4 years ago that I had both of those. They don't do much in that way anymore. Now they would rather write a check. That way they know exactly how much the total sponsorship is. Cancer research is so much needed. We give several children's charities. Well, but what if you guys need to call for help? No contact. Nope, man. There is no way to contact. The cell phones. I'll be by myself for those 2 days, the 15th and 16th. Nobody else will be with me. I won't see my friends until the 16th, probably about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. I'll see them when I get to the hotel. And then I sleep until about 4 o'clock, from about 10, 11 o'clock. So I'll get maybe 5 hours of sleep if I'm lucky. And then I get up and I wander the streets like I don't want to say like a homeless person, but I've been stopped by the police quite a few times and asked if I'm homeless because I get up at that hour and I have nothing to do. I mean, most of my friends don't get up and and even get a cup of coffee going or anything at all until 7. So I got 2 hours, 3 hours of time to kill. So I just wander the streets, just doing nothing. I probably walk about 6 miles, 7 miles. I should get one of those step monitors. I think you can get the app on your phone. But yeah, I've been stopped by the police. Yeah, either they ask me if I'm homeless, why am I wandering the streets at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I just tell them, and most of them know me by now, and at least the last 3 or 4 years, they see me do it, and they're like, "There's that guy. He's back in town again, wandering the streets, doing nothing." I see that's when all the tweakers start coming out. You'll see them. Oh yeah, and I see a lot of them. Walking zombies. Hopefully they've done away with a lot of that spice. The synthetic marijuana. Wow, that when that stuff hit that area, it was bad. These people look like they're half awake and half dead. I mean, really walking zombies. They never approached me. I would stop you too, Will. Yeah, but they don't stop me anymore. They see me, and they know who I am. The police department's there pretty much like, oh, there he is. And I come back every year. I think this is like the 20th year. It's either that or it's the 19th year that we've been playing in this tournament. It used to be called the Big Daddy Swanson Golf Memorial Golf Tournament. Used to be. They changed the name probably about 10 years ago to it's a Loyal Order of the Moose charity golf tournament. So I'll be safe. I ain't worried about them. I carry when when I'm out walking. So it's not like I don't have any way of defending myself. So people know. Even the tweakers know. Don't mess with them. And it's not like I'm walking down dark alleyways. I wander around the business district, and I kind of look in windows, like window shopping. I might stop in a convenience store and grab a small cup of coffee. It's hard to find something that's open at 4 o'clock in the morning, but there's like one. It's about 3 miles from where we're at. That it's a 24-hour gas station. It's next to Walmart. So at least I know they're open. I can go get a cup of coffee if I want. Cancer's big business. They won't cure cancer. There's too much money in it. That is an argument that can be made, Mike. The pharmaceutical companies they don't want to cure cancer, but because there's way too much money in the drugs to fight cancer. But at the same time, if they are able to ever cure cancer or come up with something that helps cure cancer, they can put up all new drugs, that on that side to alleviate side effects or fight the cancer itself. So I'm going to worry about you now. I wouldn't worry about Michaela. Like I said, I've been doing this for so many years. I've never had a single issue. I see some pretty interesting people, especially in a town like Centralia in Chehalis. You see some pretty interesting people at that hour in the morning. Not a whole lot of cars on the road, but you definitely see that one section of society that most people driving through town or on the freeway you would never see. Oh yeah. And I'll have my concealed carry with me, from the before I leave, uh, you know, um, and when I'm by myself on the 15th and 16th, I'll have it with me. I mean, I'm going to be in the damn mountains. You don't go in the backyard of a mountain lions, and bears without some kind of either bear spray or something. And I'm going to an area that it's off the grid. There's no electrical hookup. All the electricity there is by solar. Water is actually brought into a tank and it's got a pump. Um, there's no septic. It's all just well, I shouldn't say no septic. There's a septic for the bathroom, but it's like a septic tank. It's not hooked to the city because it's about 27 miles from the nearest town, which is just a hole in the wall little place. So I like it there. It's quiet. You can't even drive up to the cabin that I'm staying in. You have to walk in. You have to carry everything you carry into the place. You have to carry the hell back out. But I'm looking forward to it though. I do every year. Ever since I found the place, it used to be listed on um, what the heck is that company called? Verbo or something like that. Used to be listed online like that, but not anymore. Now it's one of those places you have to know about it and you have to book it in advance. I had to book it back in February. But every day this coming week, every single day, uh, the 11th through the 18th, every day there's new content. So even though I'm gonna be on vacation, I already have it all uploaded to YouTube, and it's already set for the day and the time and everything else to launch. So even if I'm not here, people will still get new content. What defense do I think Sarah Boone is going to raise? I don't know. Um, Mentally deranged. How many attorneys did she go through? My brother-in-law hikes in Washington all the time and told my husband not to worry because he carries his 9 mil. My husband about fell out of his chair and said, "What are you going to do to a bear with a 9 mil?" best thing for a bear, though, is bear spray. Just remember, a mountain lion attacks are very rare, and bears, they don't want to mess with you. You don't want to mess with them. You just don't get between a mama bear and her cubs. She's now defending herself. She's a whacking nut, though. Sarah Boone. Going to tickle the bear. Was it only 8? She just kept on firing everyone. That she get a new attorney and she, didn't like him or her, and then fire them. Didn't get along. I felt bad for a couple of them. They're like, really? She doesn't want to cooperate with us at all. She just kept on firing them. But surprised if it was only 8. That I thought it was closer to 10. But people are so stupid in national parks. Yeah, you'd be surprised, Francie, just how many people have vanished in the Yellowstone National Park. Vanished, like gone, never to be seen or heard from again. There are a lot of people who go into the national parks, to self-harm, and they've, on purpose. And other people have gone into the national park, parked their cars at a visitor center, walked into the national park, been attacked by, animals. Other people, they have no business being in the national park in the first place. They can't hike, they can't walk, they can't survive. They don't bring any, emergency supplies with them. Nothing. And you read about it, it's like he was wearing sandals and shorts and a light T-shirt when he vanished. Really? How are you going to survive in one single night? Not even an emergency blanket? Nothing? Yeah, you're just asking for it if you're not prepared. You definitely going to watch Sarah's trial? I felt bad for most of them. I think they didn't want to spin her yarn of a story. Sarah is in jail. I bet, yeah, she's probably really high maintenance. You've listened to some of those missing 401 stories? Yeah, you would be, Kitaku, when I first started this channel, you would not believe how many people, got the two of us confused and asked me, would comment about, a missing story case, the 401 missing stories from the, in my comment section, or ask me about, hey, is there any update on this missing person? I'm like, who the hell's that? But it happened a lot, an awful lot. And I've never met the guy who runs that channel. But I'm sure that they probably get some of the, he probably gets some of the comments too from me, people who ask, hey, what about, Chad Dorman, asking him about Chad Dorman. And he's probably going, well, what the hell does Chad Dorman have to do with the missing people in the Yellowstone National Park? I'm going to look to Donna Alderson's trial in September out of Florida. I haven't been following that one, Gayla. Is a Karen in jail? Water, please. Mr. Balin. I like Mr. Balin's content. He's a former Navy SEAL. Mr. Balin. A lot of people don't believe it. When people like such as myself tell you that he was a decorated former Navy SEAL, just like Scott Reich was a Marine Corps pilot. A lot of people don't see it. It's like, really? But he was. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Hmm. Don't know who that. They must be the Adelsons. Wendy and Harvey. You know who they are. Have been following that one. I should probably look into it though. Sure, it's probably a very interesting case. Kitty Q, no, I have not turned Discord back on. Um, Discord and well, I shut down Discord. I left the Facebook group. I tried to delete everybody from the Facebook group and then shut it down, but there's nobody in the group page on Facebook. There's nobody there. But I can't figure out how to close the damn thing down now. Did they remove even the moderators and everybody else from it? I mean, I have no idea what the hell is going on there. But no, I have not turned on Discord yet. Do you have to be a member? You just have to join it once, or be invited to it, I guess. But no, I have no idea what I'm going to do with that, with any of it yet. I've been trying to get people to join the Patreon community because they have a community page now for people who are members of my Patreon. I've invited every single person who's on my Patreon, and not a whisper from them so far. What is it? Sprinkle Donut? That's just another social media platform where you can talk about. You can go to Discord. You can find. It's just like Twitch. It's another way to stream. Content to, and people with like-minded, kind of like an ongoing comment section, if you will. Will look up Dan Markle murder out of Tallahassee, Florida. Yes, his in-laws hired 2 hitmen to kill him. 10 years ago. Oh, okay. Dan Markle? Markle. Tallahassee, Florida. I'll definitely look into it, Gayla. Thank you. Are you watching the election coverage, or do you prefer an atmosphere of peace and tranquility? I don't follow politics at all, Francie. It's all politics are anymore. It's just another way to divide people, because you can't get two people in the same room who are on opposite sides to even have a civil conversation about anything anymore. At least that's in my experience. I'm sure there are probably people who were here, in the live stream right now that could, who are on different political sides who can get along and have a civil conversation about it. But I avoid it like the plague. Well, I thought it was on a YouTube show. Shows how much I know. Yeah, Discord is another social media platform. So is Twitch. There's Facebook. There's quite a few of them, different ones out there. I mean, I've tried everything from X, which I'm sorry, but Elon is really screwing that thing up. I'm not going to pay money to get a blue check mark, so I'm verified. You have to pay to be verified to get your blue check mark, and then I have to pay for a premium membership for X, so I can stream and give them content for free. I only had 10 or 12 people who ever watched me, regularly on X, Twitter. But if they want to watch me now, they're going to have to watch me on, YouTube. Because besides, I still record them and I can upload them to, Facebook if I go back to Facebook, or, I can upload into my own website if I ever decide to go that route again. You had to ask your daughter how to use it. Same here, Kitty Q. When it comes to Discord and Twitch, and a lot of these, I mean, I figured out, Twitter pretty simple. That was pretty easy to figure out myself. But yeah, apparently, Elon's not making the money that he thought he was going to from saving, Twitter from itself. So now he's got to make money any way he can. Discord is fun. You can play games with each other and watch shows. If there's a smart enough person to do it, or maybe you have to be a mod to show shows. Yeah, and you can buy coffee or tokens for people. Same thing with like on Twitch. I've just never been able to put together a solid backing, following on any of them. On Discord, I have the same person who is always there. I mean, I know her very well, but she really likes Discord. She's always she's probably on Discord right now as we speak, because I haven't seen her here. Not, at least not today. The comment section. It's cold here in Michigan. I'm gonna make some spicy chili. Ooh, chili sounds good. Sorry, it's cold in Michigan today. It is 91 degrees right now where I am, and it's 9 a.m. 9 a.m. and it's 91 degrees. Today's high is going to be 107 and hazy. We're still dealing with the smoke from all the wildfires. It kind of sucks because we're in between the Cascades and the Rocky Mountains, so the smoke comes up over the mountains and it gets funneled right down to us because we're in the valley in between them. Sending me some California heat. Sending it to Francie. Oh, sending it to Francie. It's beautiful here today, 69 and a high of 75. Well, that'd be nice weather. When I go over to the golf tournament, when we're over there, we were looking at the weather forecast. There's like Friday, there's like a 10% chance of rain Friday night, but Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, it's gonna all three of those days are gonna be perfect weather for golfing. I think it's like a high of 60-ish, like mid 60s. No wind. That's nice. Give us a chance to get away from the heat. We often wonder why the hell we live where we live here. Because it's miserable, especially in the month of August. August is always the hottest month of the year here. In the last week of July through all of August, you know, triple digits, just about every day. But that's what we put up with. And it certainly ain't any cheaper living here. Not anymore. Used to be back in the 80s and 90s, it was fairly reasonable. Not anymore though. Housing prices and everything else has just gone through the damn roof the last 20 years. Well, 40 years. Don't know how those just out of college or out of high school how they can afford to live anywhere around here. The cities have priced everybody out. They got to live out in rural areas to survive. Yep. The worst thing about the area I live in, Kitty Q, when it comes to housing, is corporations are buying up all of the rental homes and apartment complexes. Corporations. That I know of 3 houses that have sold in my area here, near me in our community, and all 3 of those homes were snagged up by corporations, and they now have them underneath their portfolio as rental homes, single family dwelling rental homes. I have no idea what they're charging for to rent them out, but I'm sure it's not cheap. But there's not enough housing. Not enough housing for the people who have jobs and who need a place to live. Same out here in Cali, actually worse. Yeah. I'm just glad I'm not retired, and neither is my wife. I don't think we could live here on a fixed income. I don't think we could. We used to blame, you know, California transplants, people from California coming up here and driving up the prices. That's what we used to blame. But It's not the fact anymore. Now it's speculation in the market, corporate America buying up all the available properties, outbidding people. People get into like pissing matches over, trying to buy a house. The price, say for example, the house is listed for $675,000, a little over, that price, and then there's like 2, 3, 4 people bidding on the place, and one of them's a corporation. They can pay, more than somebody. They just throw it into as a part of their portfolio, and then they have stock in the company itself, on the stock exchange, and people are, they have to look out for their investors, so they're looking for a return. Sucks. Again, I don't know how someone out of high school or college can afford to, buy a home, live anywhere, at least not here. I'm sure there's some places that, that are affordable, but I don't know of any, at least not in my community. The American experience, yeah, seems in danger in so many ways. I often wondered the same thing, Francie. You know, is it just because I'm becoming older and I'm looking back at it, and it has every generation been the same way, and looked back and said, well, prices are out of control, inflation is eating away, everything. The dollar doesn't go as far. You can't do the same things you used to be able to do. The way of life, the 3.2 children, the white picket fence, is that American dream gone? I don't think it's gone. I don't think it's in danger. It's just there's certain areas of the that we hear a lot more about where the prices have gotten to the point where they're pricing out a certain section of society. And like the city that I live in, I mean, the city knows that they've priced people out, and you can't pay the electric, rates and everything else that are, around here. Gas prices for like natural gas, not talking about, gas at the pump, but they know they're priced out a certain section of society who can't afford to be here because they want to be, a bedroom community, and they want to be a tech hub, at least in the area that I live in. And they've done a lot of work to transition from 100% government based to more of the tech industry and science. But as those people move into the community, they've pushed other businesses out, and along with that, they've pushed out the lower income and those living on a fixed income. There's a house in my neighborhood that's been for sale for over a year now. They want 385,000 for it and lowered it to 350. They are crazy. The house isn't worth more than 220,000 for sure. It was built in 1994. Wow. In my area where I live, you couldn't touch a house for 385,000. Not in my community. Um, the three that I know of that were for sale, all of them went for $750,000, and they're all cookie cutter like homes. Every one of these houses were built in 1944. Every single one. There's not a single house in this community that is newer than 1944. Now, a lot of them have been renovated or and things have been added to them, but people put their own touches on it. But the actual bones of the home, all of them were built in 1944. So you couldn't even touch a house for $385,000 anywhere in the city that I live in that I know of. I mean, hell, a 2-bedroom home in this city, probably 500,000. But you never know. I mean, it might be on the market for a year in your area, and you think it's only worth 220,000. You never know. Maybe they'll find that buyer. Who'll come in and say, "I'll give you a cash offer." At 330. Not in Sacramento either, unless it's a dump in a bag, a neighborhood in a bad neighborhood, a bag neighborhood. Yeah. Well, my daughter. I mean, luckily, for her, she inherited a home. It's about 3 blocks from us. But it's in the same community. She inherited that from her grandmother. But if she didn't have that place, she wouldn't have any place. Not in this community, nor in this city. There's no way. She worked for hospice. For 5 years. I mean, they don't pay them that much. Me and my husband got lucky. My parents bought this house in '94 for $70,000, and they gave it to us when he got out of the military. It's a blessing not having to purchase a home in these times. Bad. Yeah, that's what I figured. You meant, Gail. Bad. $70,000 in 1994. Trying to think, where was I living in 1994? I moved a lot in my life. 1994, I think I was living in Linwood, Washington. I think that was where I was living in '94. When I might have been out of there by '94. It was either there or Mokilteo, somewhere up there. We had a condo. I have no idea how much somebody asked me, guess the price of what that condo costs. I wouldn't remember that part. It's been an awfully long time, and since 1994, well over 30 years, 40 years, 10, 20, maybe 30 years ago, 1994. Think about that. Damn. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap up this morning's coffee brew. Again, tomorrow night for trivia is the Green River Killer. Half of the questions are on the actual crimes of the Green River Killer, and the other half of them are on Gary Ridgway, who is the Green River Killer. But that's tomorrow night, 4 o'clock, Pacific Standard Time, 5 o'clock Mountain, 7 o'clock on the East Coast of the United States. Judge accordingly. Write it on your calendar. Do what you need to do to, set a reminder for it. Don't rely upon YouTube to send a reminder to you about trivia night or for anything. But if you're not a subscriber, I hope you'll, click on that subscribe button, turn on the bell, hit the bell, for all notifications, so when the next time I put out new content. Again, this coming week, Monday is the top 5 necrophilia serial killers. Then Tuesday is little known serial killers. That's a shorts video. Wednesday is for channel members is reads. I'm going to read off mean comments. Thursday is serial killers and serial killers, the mistakes that they've made. Either they got them caught or mistakes that let law enforcement know who they were. Then we're going to have another one additionally on Friday of serial killer mistakes. And then Saturday next week, a week from now, 7 days from now, is top 5 serial killer IQ. Sunday is Chris Watts. How is he getting along in prison? And nothing on the Monday the 19th. Again, if you don't see me live tomorrow night, you won't see me, live at all. But that's all the content for this coming week. Every single day, I got new content for everyone, channel members, and for everyone. It's open to everyone. But again, Wednesdays and today were channel member content only. But everyone, thank you again for stopping in. Hit that thumbs up if you will, or thumbs down, whichever. Just an interaction for YouTube, and it helps suggest it out to other people who may like this content. But anyways, everyone, you all have a great day and stay safe out there. And as Purple always says, you never know who's going to be knocking at your door next or who's going to be standing next to you. And those are very true. You never know. Could be the next Jeffrey Dahmer knocking at your door who wants to sell you a subscription to a magazine. Or they could get on the elevator or standing next to you in line at the supermarket. You all have a great day. And we'll see.